What's up, YouTube? I'm here today with the Tesla Cybertruck. This one I've been kind of excited about, but I've always put off driving it and actually giving it a review. I just thought it was so hideously ugly, but I kept hearing good things about it, so I figured I'd actually give it a try and see what it's all about. And what I found is actually really surprising. I'm going to go through a full review of it, exterior driving, all that. But just kind of a spoiler alert, this thing's absolutely amazing despite the looks. So as most of you already know, the body is made out of stainless steel. It is not your normal aluminum and plastic the cars are made out of. They say that it is bulletproof. There's lots of videos of it being shot. Apparently it can handle up to a 9 millimeter. Pretty cool. The interesting thing is how the light reflects off of it. I actually parked it right out here on the street, and it was shocking how much light was beaming into my house off of the reflection of it. That's something silly. Anyway, this is the dual motor. This is not the Cyber Beast. So this has two motors, all-wheel drive, and about 600 horsepower. It is really, really fast. I'm blown away by how shockingly fast this is, seeing as it's not the fastest model. So the Cyber Beast has a little over 800 horsepower and is insane. Supposedly does a 2.60 to 60. This does 4.1. So still really, really fast. This thing is, just blew my mind how quick it was. And that's even compared to my quad motor Rivian and my 750 horsepower Escalade IQ that I drive daily. This is so much faster than the Escalade, probably on par with the Rivian, even though the Rivian had a lot more power. I don't know how they do that. They do make larger off-road tires that look a little bit better on it. I'm just not crazy about the length of this truck compared to the height. It's pretty wide. It is the width of a full size, but and it's not all that long. I think it's just maybe how it sits. I don't know. I feel like if you made it a little bit taller, put maybe 35s, 37s on it, it would really beef this thing up and make it kind of make the proportions a little bit better. I don't mind the crazy angularity and the like weird style. It works for the aerodynamics of it. So inside the Cybertruck, we have a cool little steering wheel here that has a flat top. I thought that might be an issue. Turns out it's not. Like, drive it right in the center here, and it's nice. We do not have a driver's display. I found that weird. That was originally one of the things that I thought would be a deal breaker for me, but turns out after driving it, I actually don't mind it not being there, and no heads up display. So it's kind of just a blank area in front of you, but that's actually somehow all right in here. Windshield comes back. It is absolutely insane how far out that windshield goes. I'm reaching as far as I can. That doesn't really do it justice, but it is absolutely enormous up there. Not a big problem. The A pillars here do make a bad blind spot. But the thing is that I'll get to it later. This truck will drive itself, so it doesn't really matter that much. But the blind spots are pretty bad in where the A pillars are. They put these demo drive stickers that only make it a little tiny bit worse. But yeah, that's tough to see out of there. Rear view mirror is a joke. It's there for liability purposes only. In the back, if you have the tonneau cover closed, which is how they recommend driving it to get good aerodynamics, the tonneau cover completely blocks the back window, so that makes this useless. But on the screen, it will display a rear view for you. Lots of aftermarket manufacturers do make digital rear views that you can replace that with. There's lots of good aftermarket support. That's one of the things I really like about this truck and everything Tesla. Visors here and an extension on them. That's pretty cool. And then, of course, a little lit mirror. Like to see that. And then lots of space. The seats are comfortable. They look good. They're very modern and kind of sharp edges, just like the rest of the vehicle. The ambient lighting going all the way around looks cool. The stereo is great. The cup holders, they work. This is just kind of a little mushy bit there, so it'll fit bigger cups. That works. The wireless charger here is fantastic and keeps the phone on, charges it nice. There's a big old spot in the middle here. There's lots of accessories you can put in there. I would have at least cup holders or something down there. The center console, just pretty basic and standard. There is a 120 volt, so a home power outlet in there, which is cool. You would obviously put some type of aftermarket little organizer in there. Other than that, let's get into the screen. So that is where all the magic happens. This is the biggest screen I've ever seen in a vehicle. Yeah, the Escalade says it has a 53, 55-inch, but it's a joke. It is very, very thin and just runs the full length of the dash, so it doesn't really do that much. This is 17 inches diagonal, and it's really good. It has all the things you could need on it. Let's go ahead and actually just get that off there. We don't need vulgarity for no reason. This is somebody else's music. Anyway, it's very responsive. You can just move things around. It is super, super cool. This kind of home button here takes you to the main menu that you can get to all the different stuff here. We have ride height. We have all the buttons to your mirrors, your steering, open the tonneau cover, change your headlights. Glove box here is pretty cool. I actually do like the way that just pops open and closes. Oops, there's a little piece of plastic. That was the original cover from this. I'll move that in a minute. But the dynamics, that lets you set how the vehicle drives. You can turn the acceleration up and down, ride handling, and make it ride smoother or more harsh. This does have actual lockers, so you can engage your lockers there. If you go to off-road, it has even more options. Actually really like the off-road options. It is actually going to raise up a little bit right now. And that is where you can see your battery temperature and your motor temperatures. I wish that was actually on a page that you could get to while not in off-road mode, but then you can also see your lockers there. This just has lots and lots of cool stuff in it. You can go into this button here and it just gives you everything, all the apps that you could imagine, all sorts of weird stuff that you'll probably never use, like Grok AI and a web browser. And it looks like it has Apple Podcasts and karaoke and really just some Zoom. You're never going to use Zoom. Oh, I'm never going to use Zoom in the car. But anyway, it's all there. There's a button here or on the steering wheel that really quickly just takes you to your cameras. The cameras are sharp and responsive. They're really, really good. I love the cameras in this. So we have our navigation in here. Navigation is super, super easy to use. When you just go in there, you can simply put in, well, if you go to search, let's go to Tesla service, Tesla collision, Cherry Hill. We'll go there. That's where I need to return this vehicle this morning. So it's 17 minutes away. Once we start, I'll hit the self-driving. The self-driving is unbelievable how well that works. So we now have that in there. Spotify's my music preference in a car, and they did a real nice job of setting that up. Their interface is nice. You have lots of music to work with in there. So that's what the screen looks like. But again, it's pretty good. It's really intuitive. Let's go right back into here and go back into our custom mode. And there we go. Two other quick things that I forgot to point out is the comically large windshield wiper that this has. So let's go ahead and hit that button just for fun and see what it can hit this. Look at the size of that thing. That is just hilarious. But it does work, and that's fine. Over here to get out of the vehicle, this is the normal button. You push that and everything kind of pops open. This is a safety. I like that they have that. Otherwise, people probably get claustrophobic, or you'd have to worry about the button not working. But there is a backup. I've used it. It does work. It shoots you a message that says you could damage the weather stripping because it doesn't drop the window the same way that the button does. So we like to use the button. Cracks the window. All right, and let's go ahead and set off in the Tesla truck. In order to go into reverse, you have to actually use this little thing on the screen. It's all right. It works. Don't hate it as much as I thought I was going to. I still would prefer a normal stalk. As you can see, the screen just jumps into this cool mode where you have your side cameras and your rear view. You have the turning. Good, you can see the steering wheel. So this is crazy. So we're dead straight. This has steer by wire in it, and the steer by wire is absolutely incredible. It takes a little bit to get used to, but it's going to be the wave of the future. This steering wheel, so we're dead straight right now, and that is all the way to the lock. That is as far as it turns that way. And if you go, you can see check out that little screen. That's all off the imaging, but all it takes is that, and we are completely the other way. That is absolutely wild, and I love it. So this is one of the most impressive screen systems that I've seen. You have the over the head, which is all just kind of almost like a radar image. It's but it works. You can tell the difference between everything. And then you have your huge crisp cameras here and the side views. If you want, you can just flick up to go to the front view and back to the rear. So let's just go ahead and reverse out of my driveway. And again, that's just a tiny little, what is that? I don't know. Half a turn of the steering wheel, and you go all the way around. Does have regenerative braking, obviously, like all EVs. So we're full lock here. I'll go ahead, and then you do have to flick that up to drive, but I'll go ahead and actually do a full turn here. Just see how tight that is. That is such a tight turning circle. We have more than twice as much space as we would need inside my cul-de-sac here. Next thing that we are going to go ahead and do is the full self-driving. It is really, really cool in this. So you can see your little image here, but in order to engage that, you just press this button and then it'll come up. It's all blue here. So let's see if it goes ahead, and I have it set to go. And there we go. We are off, and it is doing.
Turn left onto Hartford Road.
It's doing full self-driving. We're going to come up here to the road and we're going to make a left. I'm actually going to spend a good bit of time on the full self-driving because that's really something super cool with this. You can see the traffic going by. We go ahead and actually close that down so we can see full screen here, because the navigation doesn't matter that much. So we stopped a little early there. It creeps up so that it can look at traffic. It's unsettling. You have to get used to it, but we're still waiting. I'm looking too, but it seems to be doing this right. This is a really bad intersection here, and okay, pretty aggressive, but it pulled out and accelerated right up to speed. I do have this set into hurry mode, which I like. I think that's probably the best mode for it, but it is set into hurry mode. It had chill, normal, hurry. They are pushing an update that is actually going to give it a Mad Max mode, which I guess makes it drive even more aggressively. But again, I haven't touched the steering wheel since we turned that off. You can see everything in here is working really well. It's going to move us over to that right-hand lane. This gives me a lot of extra confidence, taking a look and seeing kind of what the computer is seeing, and that's processing in real time. You can see when it goes to being able to pass. I can see that car all the way that far in front of us. It's just picking up everything. Now, Elon came out and said that by the end of 2025 that we will have eyes off driving. Now, we all know that what Elon says and what actually happens is time-wise isn't right. Everything that he says that he's going to do, he has done so far, but the timing is usually a little bit exaggerated. So that might take a little bit longer, but they're definitely closer to it than anyone else. And from what I can tell here on I guess this is the hardware for what's in this vehicle is really, really impressive, and it does seem like we are just about there. It shouldn't be long before there it is. It's catching that yellow light, bringing us to a nice controlled stop here. Again, I'm super uncomfortable when just letting another human being drive. I do not like it when someone else is driving, and I will sit in the car, and it'll probably take 30 minutes of driving with somebody before I'm comfortable with them driving. This is impressive. I'm okay with this driving me. I really am. It feels good. It feels safe. Go in here and turn our heated seats off. It's getting a little toasty in here. It has this little biohazard thing. I guess that is some sort of extra HEPA filter or something like that, because this came out post-COVID and everybody started putting stuff like that in here. For the HVAC system, the controls, I like them. A lot of people say, it might have been easier to just put a little valve or whatever that you can move by hand. Yes, but these aren't bad. It works, and you can just adjust those. You can jump right on over to the rear, do the same, move the rears around, change the temperature of the rear. It's a good system. It definitely works. I'm going to turn it off for right now, though. You just swipe that away. Again, the screen's plenty big to be able to see the navigation and this. I'm just amazed the fact that I can sit here and demo this screen while driving, because I'm not re- I guess I should be paying more attention, but I'm not paying that much attention to the road because I trust that the truck is doing it, and it really is. It's doing a great job. So there is something to this where if you are not paying attention, it will notice, it will tell you to touch the steering wheel or keep your eyes on the road. And if you do that and if you're not doing that and it catches you, it'll give you a couple warnings, then it'll turn off the full self-driving. If it does that, that is called a strikeout in their system, and you can only have a certain number of strikeouts before it will actually lock you out of full self-driving. I think it's for something like a month. They also just changed that. I think they shortened it a little bit. So in the audio system, there's something else that I really liked, which is if we just are going to play with our sound and our equalizer, not only do you have your bass, your mids, and your treble, and a couple of adjustments there, but it has a completely independent sub channel, which is really really cool. I don't know why more vehicles don't do that. I like to turn my subwoofer up pretty high, meanwhile having the bass not as high on the regular door speakers, because they just can't handle that much bass. It's just a preference of mine, but I think it's really cool that they have that. They also have this immersive sound. I am an audiophile. I'm into that stuff, but I'm not going to start
In
talking
1,000
about
feet,
that
turn right
in
onto
this
Springfield
review.
Road.
All right, so the roads have cleared up a little bit here. I've got it in where I'm actually driving it. I just love this thing. I can't believe that this is not the fastest version, and it just pulls great. All right, so I just plugged into a second supercharger here. These are the newest generation chargers. As you can see, there's plenty of them around, and we have, I think there's 40 of them here and only 10 are in use. And yet I am only getting 63 kilowatts. That I was getting 66 on the previous one. It's the second one that I plugged into. There's nothing wrong with this. We're only at 70%. I'm absolutely astounded that the Cybertruck is only getting such a low charge rate. This is going to take forever. It says 50 minutes remaining. That's not very quick. Maybe it's because of the high state of charge, but that is not great. And so what are my overall thoughts after driving and living with the Cybertruck for a weekend? I absolutely love this thing. I am really, really impressed. I still do not like the way that it looks, but it blew me away with its self-driving, with all the features, just the driving dynamics. It really will handle, I don't want to use that cliche term of that it will handle like a sports car, but it handles fantastic. Handles every bit as well as my Rivian did around the turns. It accelerates great, and this isn't even the tri-motor. This thing is really, really good. It drives nice. It's smoother and quieter than my Cadillac Escalade. This is a wonderful vehicle. The technology's there. It gets the over-the-air updates, and the full self-driving is just so far beyond any of the other vehicles that I've driven, and that includes the Lucid Gravity, the Rivian Gen 2, the Super Cruise on GM that's supposed to be really good. None of them are anywhere close. You'll, as you saw on the screen, it picks up everything. It's really, really great. So my takeaway here is this is amazing, and this is probably going to be my next vehicle. I'm going to see if I can get rid of that Cadillac Escalade IQ. And even though that is a way, way more expensive vehicle than this, I like this better, and I would like to drive it every day. I think that you get some looks. There's people that kind of have political views, which I really think is silly about a vehicle, but some people will, look at it funny because of their political views. Other people think it looks like a dumpster and just hate it. EVs get enough hate, much less a Tesla truck that's completely out of the ordinary. But I don't mind that. I can talk cars, and I would probably get the Cyber Beast, so it's got the power to back it up. It's fast, it's powerful, it can tow, it does everything really well. Why do people hate it so much? I don't know. In the comments, let me know what you guys think. I know that this is a hot topic here with the Cybertruck, but I absolutely love this thing.